What's up, Strike Team, and welcome to a very, very special episode of Strike Team Abroad. We are just a few weeks away from Tokyo orientation for the brand new jets coming into Japan, and I am so excited for all of you. I just remember my first time flying into Japan and starting this journey and starting this experience, and I was just on Reddit reading a bunch of your comments about how excited everybody is to finally make it to the hotel and start orientation. And it reminds me of the beginning of my journey. And guys, this is one of the best decisions I have ever made in my entire life. I am so excited for you. You're gonna love every bit of your Japan journey. And so it made me think about what tips I wish I kind of had before making it here to Japan. And so what I did is I reached out to a bunch of my ALT friends and I asked them, hey guys, what are, the top things you wish you knew before you made it here to Japan? And I took all those and I kind of compiled a list of their top 5. And I'm going to share them here with you guys today. So I have the top 5 things you definitely need to get done before, or at least you definitely need to know before you get here to Japan. And I also have a bonus one at the end, a bonus number 6, which I think is super important as well. Also, the most important tips are toward the end, okay? We're starting light and then we're getting more and more major as we go. So please watch the whole video. I'm telling you, you're coming here in a few weeks. You do not want to miss this. It's going to be really important. And you're going to have such a great time. So let's get started. Okay, so the first tip we're going to talk about is overpacking. And this is a big one because from what I understand, pretty much everyone has done it. Okay, you're coming to a foreign country to live, many of us for the first time. And so we have this fear that we need everything and we just stuff our bags with everything we can think of. And I promise you, it is not necessary. Japan is a first world country with great stores. It has most of what you need. Okay, so one of the more common overpacking issues that I see are toiletries. I'm talking people bringing shampoos, soaps, a bunch of different towels, washcloths, toothpaste. Okay, one of the big one that's consistently talked about, even in videos, is how bad Japanese toothpaste tastes. And while it's not the best, it's also not awful. Like, you can get by with it. So unless you really need a nice tasting toothpaste, it's not bad. And all the shampoos and conditioners and things like that, most of that, guys, you can buy it here in Japan. They have stores with great products. It's not that complicated. The one thing that I think is maybe a little off-putting is the rub-on deodorant. Like, this is like a really popular deodorant, okay? And it's a rub-on, and it's not very strong. I train and work out all the time. I'm in the gym every single day, and this is not the best to stop my underarms from sweating. However, they also have this kind of like spray-on deodorant. And put it out a little closer. This deodorant works really well, at least under here. Can't stop my chest and every other part of my body from sweating because I'm a sweaty beast. But this does work as well as anything I've gotten in America. So in my opinion, toiletries, packing, pretty much anything that has to do with the bathroom is pretty much a waste of time. You can buy it all here. That being said, I am a guy. I have very basic hair. Okay, I'm very clean, but I have very basic hair. So I understand there may be some girls, especially if you have curlier hair, that may require something special that might be harder to find in Japan because they have a lot of straight hair stuff here. That being said, I have talked to many of my lady friends about this and they have not had a major problem. So I do not think it's that big of a deal. Okay, so do not overstock your suitcase with toiletries, even though like 5 or 6 of my friends apparently did that. Another common overpacking situation is bringing way too many clothes. A lot of people are taking their entire wardrobes from home over here into Japan. And for most of us, that's not the smartest move. If you guys remember Ryan, who's in a lot of my blog videos, he's the guy who's always dressed to impress, suited up all the time, like flyest dude out there, okay? And he brought multiple pairs of suits and slacks and dress shoes, and he's always looking good. But Japan is a really humid and hot country during the summer, and depending on where you are, it can be really cold in the winter as well. Okay, so you want to be very particular with what you're wearing. So I've talked about this before, but the best option is to actually buy your clothes once you get here to Japan. Okay, I would encourage you to go to Uniqlo. Okay, it's an affordable clothing store with amazing options. I'm talking about clothes that are specifically designed for the Japanese weather. You'll have dress tops for men and women that will wick off sweat and be very cooling in the heat, but also options for when it gets warm that will help and keep that heat in. I mean, when it gets cold, that will help and keep that heat air in if you live in a place like Hokkaido during the winter. Okay, it also has nice dress slacks, dress skirts for women. It has everything you need, and it's all specifically designed to be worn here in Japan in this heat. And also, it'll help you stay kind of with the fashion of Japan where you're staying. So you're not, maybe if you don't want to stand out too much, buying the clothes here, that's a great option for that as well. Now, obviously, I'm assuming that you fit in the typical Japanese sizes. I would encourage you to go online and make sure you can kind of find your clothes size when you get here. I have noticed that even wider people can find clothes here in Japan, but if you're really, really tall, especially as a girl, it might be a bit difficult for you to find, like, say, skirts that say go to your knees, because a lot of areas are kind of conservative like that. So you won't want to have like above your knee skirts, especially at work. So that may be a little bit difficult. Shoes can also sometimes be an issue if your feet are too big. So like for men, if you're over 28 centimeters or 10 US, and for women, it's 25 centimeters or 8 US, then your feet might be a little difficult to size for. I'm a 10 and a half in the US size, and it was a super hassle buying my new running shoes. So the one thing I would say to bring from America are your shoes. Okay, if you have shoes from America that you like and you have bigger feet, bring those. Shoes are also one of the more expensive wardrobe options. But again, talking about shirts, talking about pants, guys, just buy it when you get here. Reset your style. There's a lot of, Japan is, if you're looking at Asia, has a very nice fashion style. It's very different than the West. You might as well hop in to the culture and buy your clothes out here in Japan. I'm telling you, you'll save a lot of space in your luggage. Okay, so tip number 2, and this one is super, super, super important to get done before you're in Japan. Do this in your home country. Okay, and this actually, one of my friends, this has been like the bane of his existence for the last like 4 months. It's been something he's been trying to fix, and he's having the hardest time. Okay, come here with your international driver's permit. Make sure you get that done before you get here to Japan. It allows you to drive cars once you get here. And say you're in Tokyo. Can you think, oh, you have a train, you're not going to really need a car. That doesn't matter, okay? Say you come to visit a place like, I'm in Okinawa. We don't have public transport. We have it, but it's trash. Okay, you can end up in the mountains somewhere in Japan, even if you're just traveling and a car becomes necessary. Having your international driver's permit is extremely beneficial, even if you're just using it to rent a car when you need it. And in a lot of places, at least in America, it's super cheap. It's like $20 at AAA. Okay, so please get that. It becomes much more difficult to have the international driver's permit shipped to you overseas. I know it's possible from America, but it can take quite a while. And then my friend is from the UK, and he's been trying to get it done for 4 months, and it's been extremely difficult. And like I said, he's here in Okinawa where a car is like necessary. So please, guys, get your international driver's permit handled and finished before you touch down on this island. It is extremely important. Okay, so tip number 3, this is another really, really big one that you need to do before you leave your home country, is switch your bank account to something that is travel friendly. Okay, now I'm going to speak from an American perspective because that's the only kind of banking I've done outside of Japan. Okay, but when I was in America, I used Chase Bank, which is absolutely, well, it's garbage all around, but it's definitely garbage when it comes to anything with international travel. Okay, so I totally closed that account and I started looking for banks that were friendly to doing transactions overseas. And what I found out is that the best banks are often not traditional banks. They're like brokerage firms. So what I use is Charles Schwab, which normally when you think of that, that's like something you trade stocks on. But it turns out they can also function as a normal bank. And they have some of the best rates, not just for things like savings accounts and things like that, but when it comes to foreign transaction fees and working at foreign ATMs, it's absolutely amazing. They also have really, really good and fast customer service. And fast customer service is really important when your phone calls are international phone calls that are costing you money. So you want someone who will get on the phone and help you really, really quick. Another one that I hear is good, but I don't have myself, is Fidelity. Fidelity will pay back international transaction fees on the ATMs. Okay, so it's really good for travel. So Fidelity's another great one. The issue though with brokerage type accounts is when you're not in America, a lot of the times they won't let you like set up an account over the phone. I have a friend who is trying to set up an account on Charles Schwab, but they won't let him do it because he's currently not residing in the United States. And so that is a serious issue. Do it while you're still in your home country and make those switches when doing all the bank stuff is easy. And if you have to go in face to face to fix something, you can do that. And for a normal bank, Ally Bank is also really good on foreign transaction fees and things like that. But the main issue I have with Ally Bank, because I do have it as one of my bank accounts, but its customer service takes way too long, especially when I'm getting charged every minute calling you from Japan. I don't like having to wait on the phone for 30, 45 minutes. So that is my issue with Ally, is the customer service is not my favorite, but it is a bank that has good foreign transaction fees for their debit cards and things like that. So if you have the capability to cancel your bank and make sure you're with a bank account or a brokerage firm that has good foreign transaction fees, do that. Again, once you come to Japan, you will have access to a Japanese bank account, but you still might need your bank account back in America, especially with all the weird craziness of banking in Japan. Trust me, sometimes having my American debit card is like a lifesaver. So definitely open up a bank account in your home country that is good for foreign transactions. Okay, so tip number 4, and another really important one, is to set up an eSIM or a pocket Wi-Fi for you for when you land here in Tokyo. Okay, so one thing I wish I had was when I first landed here, I had no ability to use my phone unless I was using the Wi-Fi from the airport or the hotel. So when I went to go out and travel around Tokyo, this was like a serious worry for me, is not having access to internet. And then when I finally got to where I was staying and where I was living, I had no internet access. All right, and this was very, very annoying for me. Okay, and what I didn't know is that there are companies like Sakura Mobile and Mobile. These are two different companies, okay? Sakura Mobile and Mobile. It's Mobal. Okay, these are two companies that offer short-term eSIM and pocket Wi-Fi plans specifically tailored to the JET program. Okay, they will actually send their SIM cards or their pocket Wi-Fis to the hotel where you're doing your orientation. All you gotta do is order it. And this is like super useful, okay? Because I wouldn't recommend you, and this is a big one, do not send an eSIM or pocket Wi-Fi to the airport. You won't have time to pick it up. The moment you land, you're getting chauffeured right onto a bus and going straight to the hotel. So like that's a bad plan. But if you can have it sent to the hotel itself and then pick it up there, you'll have internet almost immediately. And then you'll be way more calm getting everything else together while you're out in Japan. I was at the mercy of friends, and luckily I met some amazing people my first couple days, and so I was able to, just kind of follow them around and use their phone for the internet when needed. But this would have been a lifesaver if I had a pocket Wi-Fi or something from the moment I arrived. I would have, I wish I knew that before. So yeah, go ahead and get that done. Sakura Mobile or Mobile. Okay, and tip number 5 is to remember to download Google Translate. But not just the Google Translate, because in case you lose your Wi-Fi or you don't get an eSIM, a pocket Wi-Fi or something like that, please remember to download the actual Japanese language onto the phone itself. You can actually download the language
so that Google Translate can work without internet. I have it on my phone just in case, say for some reason I'm in an area with bad service. It's always helpful to know that you have the ability to translate things when you're in a foreign country, especially when you're like me and you've been here and you still suck at speaking the language. I'm still so bad. Okay, maybe you're fluent. I don't know your life. But if you aren't comfortable with your Japanese, remember to download Google Translate with the entire Japanese language downloaded on your phone, so you do not need internet for it to work. Super important. Okay, and now for the final tip, and one of the tips that has had one of the largest influences on my life, at least on my life of being here in Japan, is to make friends at orientation. Do not sit in orientation and not talk to people. Talk to as many people as you can. Go out and eat with people. Travel Tokyo with people. Discover things with people. The friends I met during orientation are some of the closest friends I've met since being in Japan. Okay, my entire experience would be different without them. They don't even live close to me. Okay, but they're the people you always see in my vlogs, and I talk to them all the time. We're sharing a similar experience, even though we're in different areas. They're on mainland, I'm in Okinawa. But I'm telling you, whenever I go to mainland, they're the main people I want to hook up with and go travel with. I love those guys. I can already tell you we're going to be friends for life. And I met them at orientation because we are in a situation that's new to us all, experiencing a whole new world, and it gives us such a way to commune and kind of come together. And it's just a great feeling when you make friends in situations like this. So my big tip for orientation, my biggest tip for orientation, is to make as many friends as possible. Okay? Whip out that phone, take down Instagrams, phone numbers, whatever it is. Again, I'm really, really excited for all of you guys who are about to come here to Japan for the first time. It's making me smile just thinking about my orientation, which is only a year ago. Today, like, yeah, oh man, it was so much fun. And the beginning of this whole journey, I love it. I really do. So I'm excited for you. Good luck. If you have any last minute questions before you get to Japan, please let me know down in the comments. I will reach out and try to answer you as fast as possible because I know you're on a time crunch now. And please also like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Yeah, and I will talk to you next time. Good luck. Peace.